Hello students, in the last lecture we have discussed the definition of tissues and the types of tissues, that is plant tissues and animal tissues, and we have started with the plant tissues. We have so far discussed the meristematic tissues. We have two types of plant tissues based on the ability to divide or not. If the the cells in the tissue are dividing, they are known as the meristematic tissue. And if the cells in the tissue are not dividing, then they are known as the permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, already we have discussed the characteristics of meristematic tissue and the types of meristematic tissue we have discussed in the last class. And in this class, we will discuss about the permanent tissues. So permanent tissues, what become a permanent tissue here? It is nothing but it is a meristematic tissue only. But the meristematic tissue, after after certain divisions, what happens with that meristematic tissue is it differentiates. It differentiates into a specific tissue which is becoming a permanent tissue. So permanent tissues are made up of cells that do not have, now the meristematic tissue after getting specialized into a type of permanent tissue, it will not show any kind of division. So we can say that they have the ability, they don't have the ability to divide. So these cells are actually, they are differentiated and they are specialized to perform some specific functions. If you see the characteristics of permanent tissue, the permanent tissue, they're composed of group of cells which lost their power to divide. The permanent tissue, they do not divide. That is why permanently they are settled. That is why they are called permanent tissue. They have acquired a definite shape or a form and a size. So after acquiring, like for example, the small kids will be growing, so they are like the meristematic tissue, whereas the grown-ups will stop their growth and they'll not furtherly growing. They will have a certain size, they will have a certain shape. So here the grown-ups are considered as the permanent tissue, whereas the small kids who are under the growth stage, they are considered as the meristematic tissue. So their cells are, they attain to a fixed shape. They don't change the shape here. And these tissues, they may be living or dead. It is not that we have seen in case of the meristematic tissues, the characteristics of meristematic tissue, if you would recall, they are always living. All the meristematic tissues are living. But here in case of the cells of permanent tissue, they may be either living or they may be non-living. The nuclei, if present, it is located in the periphery of the cell. It means that the nucleus is not present at the center of the cell. If you would recall the meristematic tissue, we have seen the some of the meristematic cells also. See here, the position of the nucleus is exactly at the center. Why this is present at the center means this is because of the absence of the vacuole in meristematic tissue. But here in case of permanent tissue, this permanent tissue, as they contain the vacuoles at the center which store the water, so water or cell sap, whatever. So because of the presence of those vacuoles, these vacuoles, they push these only one nucleus will be present in one cell. So this nucleus, it pushes vacuole, it pushes the nucleus to the side of the cell. That is what we call it as the nucleus is arranged at the periphery of the cell. So these are the characteristics of the permanent tissue. These are the overall characteristics of the permanent tissue. And we are going to see in detail the types of the permanent. So the examples of permanent tissue include the tissue which is present in the leaf, the tissue which is present in the deep parts of the stem, and the tissue which is present in the deeper parts of the root. These are said to be the examples for the permanent tissue. So permanent tissue, if you see the types of permanent tissue, we have two main types of permanent tissue. One is called the simple permanent tissue and the second one is called the complex permanent tissue. First we come to the simple permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue, as we have already discussed in our last class, simple tissues or the tissues, these are made up of the cells which are more or less similar. These are made up of the cells which are similar, and these tissues, they are made up of only one type of cells. That is why these tissues are known as the permanent tissues. The dermal tissue, ground tissue, these are all simple tissues, we can say. What is dermal tissue? Dermal tissue is nothing but, this is actually composed of very closely packed cells which are having the thick walls. Dermal tissue means the tissue which is which is present in the peels of the vegetables, peels of the fruits, and in the periphery of the various parts of the plants. That tissue is known as the dermal tissue. Like a skin, it is present in the plant part. So that tissue, it is known as the dermal tissue. Whereas epidermis is said to be the outermost covering of the young parts of the plants like roots, stems and leaves. We have seen the epidermis in the root structure. We have seen the epidermis. So that epidermis is made up of, epidermis is nothing but the dermal tissue only. Then ground tissue. Ground tissue, most part of the plants, they are made up of this ground tissue only. Ground tissues, they synthesize food, so act as a food storage tissue for the plants. Like we can take the tubers of potato, then the roots of carrot, all these are like grains, all these are examples for the ground tissue. So this is the main tissue where the food storage takes place, and also it provides the mechanical support to the plants like fibers or such things which give stability and strength to the plant tissues. So ground tissues consist of three types of tissues. They include parenchyma. Ground tissue are of three types. So parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. These are the types of ground tissue. First we come to the parenchyma. What is this parenchyma and what are the characteristics of the cells that are present in the parenchyma? If you see, parenchyma, it is made up of actually the cells that are very thin walled. So these are the cells of the parenchyma tissue. Tissue, as we know, it is made up of a group of cells, and this is a simple tissue. So all the cells that are present in this tissue, they are of the same type. Only one type of cells they construct the simple tissue. So if you see the cells of the parenchyma, here the cell wall is very thin. These are maximum spherical, means round shape, or oval shaped with intercellular. See, in between the cells you can see the space. The air space is present in between the cells. Sometimes the space may be filled with the cell sap or water, right? So these are the spaces which are present in between the cells. These are since present in between two cells. These are called intercellular spaces. So intercellular spaces are present and they contain, see, this is the large vacuole. They contain a large big vacuole in their cytoplasm. And this parenchyma, where do you see this parenchyma? Means in maximum all the organs of a plant you can see this type of parenchyma only. Especially this parenchyma is seen in the small plants in almost all the parts, whereas in big trees, if you take the external parts of the big trees, they contain the other type of tissue. So this parenchyma is generally seen in the small green plants, in all the green tissues. This is the in all the green parts, this is the tissue which is predominantly present. And the function of this tissue is, this actually synthesizes and this stores the food. So now, by now you might have got an idea where this parenchyma tissue is present. This is present in those areas where the food synthesis takes place. In plants, the food synthesis takes place in leaf. So the parenchyma tissue, it is present in the leaf, whereas it is also present in those parts where the food is stored. Like in case of leaves, some leaves are edible because they store the food. And some fruits. Fruits contain, then grains contain, then tubers contain some roots, edible roots like carrot, beetroot, all these radish, all these contain this parenchyma tissue only in their structure. So then collenchyma. Collenchyma actually is the second type of tissue which is made up of some elongated oval cells. We will discuss this about this collenchyma afterwards. There is a specific tissue which is present in plant leaves, the parenchyma tissue. This has names based upon the place where it is generally present. Chlorenchyma. Chlorenchyma is nothing but it is the tissue which is present. This is chloren, not colon. Chlorenchyma. This chlorenchyma is the tissue which is generally present in the leaf where chlorophyll is present. So chlorenchyma is a type of parenchyma that contains chloroplast. Chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. It carries out, since chlorophyll is present, generally it carries out the photosynthesis, and it is mostly present in the leaves and rarely present in the stems. All the green stems even can carry out the photosynthesis because they do contain chlorophyll. So there also you can see this chlorenchyma. Whereas in case of aquatic plants, another type of parenchyma is present, which is called erenchyma. Erenchyma means, eren means which is filled with the air. So this is the tissue, this is the parenchyma tissue only, which is generally seen in aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means the plants which live in water. So this erenchyma, some aquatic plants, they contain the large cavities that are present in parenchyma. This is actually helping them to float on the surface of the water. This parenchyma, it is known as the erenchyma, means this is filled with the air space, air. These cells here in case of erenchyma are filled with the air so that they can give buoyancy to the plant, means the floating nature to the plants. So these are the characteristics of parenchyma. Then next to parenchyma is the collenchyma. So this is collenchyma. What is the difference between the parenchyma and collenchyma is, collenchyma actually it is made up of the elongated, here the cells are not oval, these are elongated or oval cells, they are not spherical, whereas in case of parenchyma we have seen the round shaped cells also. But here most of the cells are oval shaped and there are no intercellular spaces. The intercellular spaces, if do exist also, they're pretty much less when compared to the intercellular spaces that are present in parenchyma tissue. Here you can see the intercellular spaces, but as compared to the parenchyma tissue, here the intercellular spaces are very small, very less intercellular spaces are present. This is why, because these cells, see in their corners they have thick thickenings, right? So thickened corners, here it is already written. It is because of the cell wall is made up of cellulose and it is thickened at, cellulose is a carbohydrate only. So the cell wall is made up of cellulose and that cellulose somewhere in the corners it deposits in large amount so that it is producing the thickenings in the corners. Because of those thickenings, here the intracellular space is reduced or decreased, right? So this collenchyma actually it is present in the stems, epidermis of the stems of dicotic plants, and it provides there the mechanical support, mechanical strength to the plant body it gives. And this tissue not only provides the mechanical strength but also it gives elasticity and flexibility to the leaf and stem. So whenever the stems, like small plants, if you see, whenever there is a